Well, when it comes to knives and kids, sometimes just the thought of a child holding a knife can be a bit scary in the kitchen. So Daphne made a pit stop at Mad Coyote Joe's house to learn some really cool things about knife safety.
So when it comes to cooking in the kitchen, and sometimes me as a mom, I like to cook in the kitchen with my kid. But you know what? This is a pretty sharp knife to have your kid hold on to. This is why I'm here with Mad Coyote Joe, who's going to give us some kitchen
knife
tips.
Safety and getting the kids started with knives. I want to go through them because with your kids, you want to start your kids out. Their first knife is this one right here. Now, when you give them this knife, this is the time to teach them about holding onto a knife, how you hand it to someone, and how you treat it, okay?
So this doesn't work, handing a knife somewhere.
Well, you don't hand it like this. Let's use the bigger knife so you can see. Okay, first thing is you pick a knife up, one finger on one side of the blade, the other finger on the other side, you hold it like this.
Okay, so this way, got it.
Okay, and when you buy good knives, that's the answer. How does it fit your hand? Because once you get to good steel, they're all the same.
Right,
okay.
Now I'm left-handed. Does that make a difference?
Doesn't matter at all. So the kids move from that. Now they move to this. This is the knife they can cut a hot dog with.
Right.
You know, cut their toast, that sort of thing. The first knife where they're going to chop in the kitchen is this knife right here. This is a lettuce knife. It's made, see, it says lettuce right on the blade. So this is a good chance the kids can't hurt themselves. Let's talk about handing it to someone. A knife is always, you put your hand on the back side of the blade, you hand it like this, you teach them that.
And then you grab it like that.
Right. So now let's just cut some lettuce real quick. So you're going to have them hold like this, and they always hold their fingers out of the way. This is where you teach them. They're going to take the knife and they're going to push through like that, and then just go like this, and they're going to cut it up, and you cut it first. Then you're going to put it, of course, in your salad spinner. Go ahead, you try it.
Now I'm left-handed, so I'm going to turn this around.
You're going to turn it, yes.
Okay.
Now,
so.
Okay, wrong right off.
Okay.
I don't want those fingers sticking out, okay? You cuff them, and it feels a little weird at first, but you get used to it. Push straight through. Yeah, just like, that's perfect.
Okay, look at that. I am now a lettuce chopper. I love it. Okay. So now moving on to our steel.
We're going to move on to steel. Now the first knife a kid wants, and it should be the first knife anybody has in the kitchen, is a paring knife. The first things we want them to cut things that are soft. So those choices would be either a zucchini or they would be a mushroom. Give yourself a flat side to work off of. So they go like that, turn it down. Now we turn like this, and you're just going to take and draw the knife through. Now let's move on to the next size as we cut the zucchini. Now this knife here is where you really get into knives. This is a paring knife. This is your first chef's knife. They call it a butcher knife. It's not a butcher knife. Chef's knife or a French knife. Once again, we grab by both sides. Now, with the zucchini, what we're going to do is we're going to grab it like this, drag our hand through, cut it in half. That gives us a flat surface, right? Now, if we want, let's say we want cubes of it, we're going to think about it like this. Drag through, and then we're going to just turn. We want to get that like that, turn sideways, and then we're going to take, and look, see this right here, how there's a sort of a round part? The hinge rolls. So you're going to take your hand, and see how the knife just touches the edge of my knuckles?
Right.
And that's the idea.
This is not only for kids to learn, this is for me to learn too.
Right.
So I can tell you that I most certainly wasn't chopping this way until today. So I have learned something. So
now here, let's get, now what I want is, get your knuckles up here. What I want is that knife to sort of touch it. That's your guide, and that's what's hard. And don't ever stick that thumb out too far, or we'll have no thumbs Daphne.
Okay, got it. Look at that.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Now,
okay.
Let's move on.
So our next knife.
Traditionally, you'd move up to this knife next.
Now, would you recommend a child, 10, 12-year-old child, using a knife that
No,
big?
this knife right here would be about for 13 to 15-year-olds.
so
really, by the time you're 14 or 15, if they've been handling a knife since they're young, this knife is fine. And the truth is, this is a tool that works well in the kitchen. Let me just show you. Okay. So let's move up to the onion. We've got layer, already about 1/4 of an inch thick. There's no reason to cut because it's already segmented.
Okay.
The idea is there's a little point right there. We go right on these lines and shoot for that center. See that, how I'm following the lines? And so I take my fingers and I walk up and I give myself a guide.
So you're going along the direction of the onion.
Now, here's the trick if you have a problem with onions. When you're in a kitchen and there's onions in the air, you know what people do? They run in the freezer.
Okay.
If we're doing a bunch of onions, we'll stick our head inside the freezer. For some reason, that really cold air takes that acid out of your face.
That's good to know.
Contacts are fantastic, and glasses.
I'm going into the freezer after this one.
Okay, now watch this.
Okay.
So we're trying to get 1/4 inch dice right here, and you, once again, you anchor and look.
Thank you, Mad Coyote Joe. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I actually learned a lot. So, there you go. Now you won't chop off your fingers.